everybody doing? My name is Elizabeth Schull, and I am applying to be a camp counselor with your lodge this summer. I would just like to let you guys know that throughout this interview, I will be holding up pictures to let you see some of the aspects of my life that I can't show you since I can't be there in person. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with the interview questions that you have for me. And the first one is to tell you about myself and my family. Well, a little about myself is my name is Elizabeth. I go by Liz or Lizzie though. I'm 20 years old and I live in Bakersfield, California. I graduated from high school 2 years ago, and in high school I was extremely active. I was a part of my swim team, junior varsity, 2 years, and I got some medals at league my senior year of high school. I was also a part of the marching band and color guard, and I did that for all 4 years of high school. And in high school, junior year, I was the reigning Young Miss Kern County for the county that I live in, Kern County. And I was also part of a nonprofit organization called Young Marines, which I'll refer a lot to in the other questions that you have to ask me today. And this is me at my discharge ceremony in July of 2011. And so that's a little bit about myself. I'm going to school right now at Bakersfield College, and I am in hopes of pursuing a nursing degree, so some area of science. I have not quite figured out where I want to go with that medical degree, but I just know that I want to be in the medical field. Right now I'm a part-time lifeguard with the city of Bakersfield, and I enjoy every single minute of it. I love being outdoors and being in the water, and I love doing the water safety classes that is part of our Step 5 Make a Splash program here in the city of Bakersfield. A little about my family is I was raised by my mom and my dad, but unfortunately my parents split in my sophomore year of high school. My mom, Pamela, she is probably one of the strongest people I know, and even when she is battling through her breast cancer right now, she still has a smile on her face, and I do owe a lot to my mom. This is my mom. And this is us this year at the Kern County Fair, about to zip line. But she's basically my mentor and my idol, and I look up to her so much. I also have two half-siblings, Michael and Alexis. I have not known them for that long. Alexis sent me a letter right before my senior year of high school and introduced herself, and so our relationship is fairly new, and so I have a picture of us. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of me and Michael, but this is Alexis, my older sister, and we have become really close since she interacted with me the first time, right before my senior year. I also have two adopted siblings, Peter and Christina, and they were adopted when I was in about 3rd grade, so around 8 or 9 years old. They've been with my family, and I view them as any other part of my family, as a brother and sister. My brother's 17 and my sister's 18. This is an old picture at Pismo a couple years back. But I'm a very family-oriented person, and I love being with family. It's a huge part of my life, and also as part of my religion. But other than that, that's basically a little about myself. So let's move on. Moving on to the second question, use 5 words someone who knows you well would use to describe you. I asked a couple family members and friends what words they would use to describe me, and the ones that came up most were dependable, positive, responsible, knowledgeable, and I take initiative. I'm dependable because regardless of the obstacle that's in front of me, I will get the job or task done in a very timely manner. You can always count on me to get the job done. I'm positive because even if I wake up in a grumpy mood the first 5 minutes I'm awake, you'll always see a smile on my face. My motto is from the fish philosophy, which is choose your attitude and make their day. Because if I choose my attitude every day when I wake up to be positive and bright, then that's going to guarantee to make somebody else's day, and that in itself is just great. I'm very responsible. I take credit where it's due and the blame when I'm wrong, and I'm a very trustworthy individual. I'm very knowledgeable in the things that I do, either in my work protocols or how to play a sport, or even just how to do an arts and crafts activity. And if I don't know how to do a certain activity or event or a sport, or if I don't know a certain protocol with my company that I'm working with, then I will make the time to set aside and read up on the manual or learn how to do a certain knot in that subject matter that I'm trying to teach. The last one that everybody thought was, I take initiative. I initiate things independently all the time. I'm a self-starter, but I'm also a great team player, and would love to be a part of your team. Question 3, have you ever been to camp or worked at a camp? If so, tell us about your experience. I've been to several camps in my adolescent years, ranging from 8 to 18. When I was in elementary school, I was a Girl Scout, and I went to Camp Lakota in Fraser Park one summer, and that was really interesting. I was able to learn how to go horseback riding, we went hiking, we actually camped outdoors. Our bunks they weren't enclosed, so we were literally sleeping underneath the stars, and that was really interesting. That was my first summer camp experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. I was also a part of a nonprofit organization called Young Marines, and in the Young Marines, I was able to attend leadership academies, which is basically a leadership camp for a week or 2 weeks at a time, and learn how to better myself as a leader, and also learn new leadership skills and traits to take back to my unit so I could be the most knowledgeable Young Marine that I could for my lower Young Marines inside the program. I've also gone to Space Academy, Space Camp, Mach 2 Aviation Camp, all in Huntsville, Alabama, a couple summers ago. I've also attended CERT Camp, which stands for Community Emergency Response Team, where I learned fire safety, how to triage in case there was a natural disaster, all from the Sheriff's Department down in LA and with the not the Kern County, but the First Aid, American Red Cross, there we go, American Red Cross. Along with attending these camps and these schools, years later, after I had been a couple of times, I had the pleasure of going back and teaching at them, either in a leadership position where I was actually teaching classes, or if I was just there to supervise and help with different activities throughout the day. I've never been a camp counselor for a resident camp, but I'm certain with my background of leadership between the leadership academies and running camps for the weekend, I would be a perfect match for Waltons. Question 4. What do you think about kids, and describe your experience working with them? I love working with kids. I love working with them. They make each and every day brighter, their witty sayings and their funny actions. In the Young Marines, I was able to work basically hand in hand with younger kids, even though I was still in the Young Marine program as a Young Marine. The age range was really from like 9 to 13, and when I got older, basically in my later years in the program, being able to help them understand the knowledge that we were trying to teach them, or helping them overcome a fear of going up 2 more steps on the stairway to heaven in the obstacle course. That's just amazing to help be a difference in somebody, like in the kid's life. Also being a part of Young Miss Kern County and Miss California State organization, I was able to have a pageant sister and be able to mentor them. And actually, when I was Young Miss Kern County in 2010, I mentored one of my pageant sisters, Savannah, and we're actually still really close. This is a picture of her, Savannah Granados. She is basically like my cousin, my little sister, that I never had really, since my sister and I are so close in age. I take Savannah everywhere. We go to Disneyland probably yearly and do everything that she wants to do. I go to little events with her. This was probably the same year that we both were crowned in the organization. She was Dorothy, so I was her Scarecrow. I love making a difference, and I call them little people's lives. Having the chance to be able to make them smile or laugh, or for them to say, "You made my day," or "I hope to see you tomorrow." It's just a great experience, and I just love working with kids, which is why I feel that being at Walton's this summer would have a huge impact on me as a personal individual, but I hope to also have an impact on the campers that come each and every week or 2 weeks. Question 5. What do you see as a major responsibility of a camp counselor at a resident summer camp? I believe that the major responsibilities of a camp counselor at a resident summer camp would have to be safety for one, organizational skills, being there for the kids at all times, whether it's just to be to chat because they're bored or they want someone to talk to, and most definitely to comfort them if they're having a hard time being away from home. with homesickness. And I also believe that another major responsibility is being a positive mentor for the campers. They're coming there to spend their summer with you, and you need to make sure that you are always a positive person around them, because you never want to be negative towards a child, because they seem to magnify that. And probably being a positive mentor is probably one of the major responsibilities that I would have to say being a camp counselor at the resident summer camp. Question 6. Describe your experiences working and playing outdoors. I have many experiences working and playing outdoors, most of them with the Young Marines, but also with my current job with the City of Bakersfield as a lifeguard. In the Young Marines, we would go camping at least once a month, and in the summer months we would be out of town doing something, either if it was hiking, cleaning up the bike trail, going up to the Curran River and whitewater rafting, doing whitewater rafting, going up to Big Bear and rappelling, all sorts of different outside activities. Working in the outdoor condition, I love working with the City of Bakersfield as a lifeguard, because in the summertime I'm always outside. I get that nice olive tan, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I did work for a seasonal time in retail this past Christmas, and I enjoyed it, but I would have much rather it have been June and I was out on my lifeguard perch watching the water. My family loves to be active, so we're always outdoors, and that's all the experience that I have working and playing outdoors. Question 7. What personal characteristics do you possess that will make a good camp counselor? I possess many characteristics that I believe would have to do to be a great camp counselor. I'm very fun, outgoing, I'm a great listener, positive, funny, I have great bearing, I'm very tactful, and I set the example in everything I do. I love to just be there for anybody, really, and I think that my personality as a fun, upbeat individual would be perfect for a camp counselor with your Walton's Grizzly Lodge. Question 8. Describe your last/current place of employment as a place to work. My last place of employment was with Gap Inc. at Banana Republic. I was a seasonal worker. I enjoyed working there and helping all the customers find their holiday needs. If it was for Christmas presents or a family photo. My management was helpful, and I loved working with my coworkers. They were all very fun and courteous. My current place of employment right now is with the City of Bakersfield in the Recreation and Parks Department. I'm an aquatic specialist with them, which is just a fancy word for lifeguard. I love working in the area of aquatics with the city. You learn so many new things every season, whether it be updates from the American Red Cross or just new information that the city hands you at our yearly training. But as a place to work with both of them, they're very different. With working in retail, you are more focused on customer needs and spending individual time and trying to multitask with several customers at the store in one time. And with the city, depending on the season that you're in, with the summer season, you are very busy with lifeguarding and with water safety courses and giving swim lessons, and so that divides your attention a lot. But in the off season, where it's more slow, it's very different from working in a retail environment. I think that the thing that has to be a common ground would have to be the customer service in both of them, because you have to be courteous to the shoppers in the store and also courteous to the patrons on the deck. Question 9. If you could make one suggestion to management in your last or current job, what would it be and why? If I could make a suggestion to my last management at Gap Inc. with Banana Republic, it would have to be that when an employee doesn't do something correctly, to correct them in a timely manner instead of waiting at the end of their shift, which would either be 4 or 6 or even 8 hours later. I found that when I first started working there, a couple of my managers would let me go throughout the whole entire day and then tell me what I did wrong. And then there were two managers that if I did something wrong, they would let me finish it and then pull me aside and say, hey Lizzie, at the cash wrap, you're supposed to wrap with 2 tissue papers and always ask for the receipt, instead of letting me go out through the whole entire day doing that and saying, oh, by the way, you did this wrong and you need to fix it. I feel that it would improve the employees' efficiency in the company if they would to take that into consideration. Question 10, how do you feel about being away from home for the entire summer? I'm no stranger to being away from home for the entire summer. With the Young Marines, I would travel all summer long and maybe come home once or maybe twice during the summer, just long enough to shower, say hello to my family, sleep in my bed, and do a load of laundry, and then be up and out the door the next morning. So I would really have no problem being away from home for the whole entire summer. Question 11, what is the most important thing you're looking for in an employer? Probably the most important thing that I'm looking for in an employer is someone who listens and implements good suggestions and give proper credit when it's due, and someone who encourages creativity. And I think that being at Walton's for the summer, that's exactly what you guys are all about. Question 12, tell us about the last time you spent with a child or a group of children. The last time I actually spent with a child was earlier this afternoon. I was over at my best friend's house, and she needed to go clean the kitchen, so I watched her 2-year-old little sister, and we call her Sister Boo. And we went outside and we played with the dogs, and we rode her bikes, and we also played with chalk and drew suns and flowers and happy faces and the beach. And then we took a trip to Disneyland, and we saw Princess Ariel and Sebastian under the sea with Flounder and King Triton. So that was the last time I spent with a child, and it was full of imagination and creativity. Question 13, if you could ask us one question about our camp, what it would be? If I could ask you one question about your camp, it would be, if I was hired, could I shadow or help out in the infirmary with the nurse, the 2 registered nurses that you have there while up at camp, because of my interest in the medical field? Question 14 says, please look over the activity sheet and tell us about the activities you have experience leading and those you feel comfortable leading with some training. After taking a look at the activity sheet, I have experience in leading swimming. I swam 2 years in high school, and I'm a certified lifeguard and water safety instructor, so I have given swim lessons for the past 2 years. I have not led, but have experience in the following: climbing wall, rappelling, high and low ropes course, 22 riflery, horseback riding, soccer, tennis, basketball, arts and crafts, photography, and I believe that's it. I feel comfortable leading any of those, really, with a little bit more training that you guys could give me, or even if I could see out before, if I get hired before the summer, maybe take up an extracurricular activity in one of those and learn a little bit more about it. I'm also certified in CPR, first aid, and lifeguard. Question 15, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your interest in the position and why? It is a 10. I'm highly interested in the position. Back in October when I applied, I couldn't wait until January. I had to set it in my phone and be like, I have to call Adam on January 1st and see where I can do to be a part of Walton's for the summer. After looking over your website a couple different times and reading through the history and the vision and the philosophy, Mom and Pop seem like amazing people, and I would love to help spread the vision of the camp by enriching the lives of all the generations that come to Walton Grizzly Lodge every summer. Question 16. What do you believe you will contribute to our summer camp if you are hired? What I have to contribute to Walton's Grizzly Lodge is a positive, outgoing leader who is up for a new challenge each and every day. I'm a person who will bring a smile to your face every morning that you see me, or any time that you see me throughout the day. I'm a responsible and positive person. I am totally dedicated to my job. I believe I will get along well with my other colleagues and learn from them for being a first-year camp counselor if I am hired. I realize that there are probably other candidates who have the ability to do this job better than I do, yet I think I bring an additional quality that makes me perfect for this job, and that's my passion for adventure. I love trying new things and being spontaneous, and I believe working at Walton's for this summer would make me have one of the most memorable summers that I have in my young adult years. I am passionately committed to producing truly memorable summer for each and every person that comes to the camp, whether it be the director, my other camp counselors, or even the campers themselves. I am motivated, and I'm really excited and hope to be a part of your team, and I'm ready to provide your lodge with an outstanding new team member. Question 17. In summary, why would you want to work as a camp counselor at Walton's Grizzly Lodge? Well, basically, I am looking for a new adventure and a new chapter in my life, for one. And secondly, I want to be a part of helping a kid's summer be memorable and the reason they want to come back year after year to your camp. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate the opportunity that I have applying for this job, and I hope to speak to you guys soon. Thanks!